Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, everyone. I want to especially thank whoever did the seating today for giving me a complete table of deans for prime heckling mode right up there. Thanks, guys. So the Iovine Young Academy is what I like to call the bumblebee of undergraduate programs. In the real world of higher education, it would never fly. Only at a university that is as forward-thinking as USC, and with a president like CL Max Nikias, could this have ever come about. But the success story that I want to talk to you about today is not really the creation of the program. It's actually about the recruitment of its first class, which presented a number of new challenges. Why? Well, of course, it's a brand new program. It's also a very different program, which makes it somewhat difficult to explain to parents. Further, it's aimed at students who, because of their experiences in middle school and high school, have already decided that the traditional major is not for them. So as a result, in recruiting our first class, we were actually tasked with finding and selling this degree to students who were looking primarily for one thing: a program that demonstrated its intention to do things differently in every possible way and at every possible juncture. That's an incredibly tall order. We also knew that along with everything else that we had to get across, we had to make these students feel special, and as though there was truly no institution on earth quite like USC. So just by way of a little background, the Academy focuses on the creative and innovative possibilities at the intersections of disciplines, in particular, the intersection of design, engineering, and business. And in recruiting for the program, we were looking for students who demonstrated the following profile. Now, as you can see, this is a pretty broadly crafted list of attributes ranging from ability in the arts to ability with subjects that require extensive math and science, to demonstrated capacity as an entrepreneur and leader. Further, as you can see, there are some real intangibles here: curiosity, initiative, and my personal favorite, an ability to accept periodic failure as an essential component of innovation. Try to explain that to a parent. So how were we going to find this? And if we did find it, how were we going to evaluate it? Meaning, what were we going to ask for that was going to help us find this collection of unusual talents and abilities? Well, of course, we had the common application, which means we had USC's essay prompts, we had grades, we had test scores, we had letters of rec, we had writing samples. This gave us, of course, an enormous amount of information, and yet with all of this information, we knew we needed more. So we also asked for a creative portfolio, and we hoped that this would tell us two things. First, had they been in an environment for a good portion of their lives that encouraged and nurtured creative thinking and risk-taking? And two, were they visual communicators? The world is rapidly becoming more and more visual. As you know, media and images surround everything we do on a daily basis. As you've all seen, it's not just email, Facebook, and Twitter anymore. It's now Instagram, Vimeo, Vine, Snapchat, and of course, YouTube. These are very powerful and persuasive marketing and communication tools, and an ability to understand and effectively utilize these tools is now a core competency for every entrepreneur. The third thing that we asked for is a 1-minute pitch video. And up here you'll actually see the prompt that we gave the students for the pitch video. Basically, we were asking for something that was under 60 seconds in length. And the students needed to demonstrate an idea for a product, a service, a system, something that either solved a problem or presented an opportunity. We left it very broad. It could be for-profit, not-for-profit. So by giving them some parameters, but leaving the parameters quite general in other ways, we gave them the room to show us who they really were. We also gave them enough rope to hang themselves. I have to say the videos told us more about our applicants than any other element of the submission package. Let me show you just one of the amazing videos that we got, and you'll see. This particular video is a pitch for a product for a growing segment of the blogging demographic known as vloggers, because they blog on video.
Without the time, funds, and technical training, vloggers often find setting up lighting expensive, difficult, and time-consuming, and many choose to film on the go, so using traditional studio lighting is impossible. Arcam offers a solution. Designed to resemble the popular Iron Man's arc reactor to appeal to the young demographic, 77.6% of vloggers being under 35 years of age, it allows easy, portable lighting. The main light can be hung on the camera lens to illuminate the subject, which is ideal for capturing a vlogger's face. The secondary light is attached to a detachable mini tripod that has the additional feature of a clip, so it can be placed on or clipped onto any surrounding object or surface. Both lights are packaged in an aluminum case kept in place by latches and are powered by solar panels on the backside of the case. It has detachable straps that, when removed, unfolded, and stretched, can be used as light reflectors, diffusers, or green screens. Arcam can be carried easily like a small backpack when the straps are connected, and is small enough to fit inside most bags.
Right, 17 years old, right? So what you've just seen and what we saw is a brilliant combination of art, design, technology, engineering, marketing, market analysis, and of course storytelling, all in 1 minute. This product doesn't exist, it's just an idea, but this pitch has not only thought of every possible wrinkle in bringing an idea to market, its size, its weight, the materials, the demographic that it was going after. It's also used, and this was near and dear to my designers' hearts, incredibly effective graphic design, motion graphics, and even references to popular culture. I assume you didn't miss the reference to Iron Man's arc reactor, to tell the story and pique the consumer's interest. So with a spate of creative submissions like this one, how did we choose? Okay, so I'm going to tell you right away, kids don't do this at home. We created an admissions committee made of faculty from 4 different schools. Of course, the Roski School of Art and Design, the Viterbi School of Engineering, the Marshall School of Business, and the Annenberg School for Communication and Journalism, our primary partners in the Academy. And you would think with an admissions committee this diverse, we would never come to a consensus. On the contrary, the time that we spent reviewing the applications of these remarkable students actually brought us all onto the same pedagogical page. It made believers out of all of us, specifically believers in the vision for the program and the strength of the profile that we were looking for. And the time that we spent together in deliberations was, I think, some of the most fun that any of us had had in our careers in higher education. And by the way, there was consensus on nearly every application to the Academy. So after reviewing the complete pool of roughly 300 applications, as Catherine says, this is a student-by-student, one-by-one thing. I personally reviewed every single application for the Academy. We came up with a short list of 65, and Gulp invited all of them to campus for interviews. Why? Well, we were looking for a student profile that none of us had seen in person. So, of course, the interviews were essential to the selection process, but more importantly, they were also essential to the recruitment process. We knew we were selling a brand new program, no graduation stats, no placement stats to brag about, nothing. And we knew we were selling it not only to the students, but to their parents. We also knew that if we could get them on the ground at USC, we could knock their socks off. So we created an interview weekend. And on that weekend, each student was interviewed individually by our full panel. They got a tour of the campus. They got a tour of our garage space, which is right upstairs on the 4th floor, which was not yet in construction, but they got to see what the space was looking like, and they also got to see some very beautiful architectural renderings of what it would look like when they arrived. And at the end of the first day, we planned a dinner and a presentation in Town and Gown, and I did a very extensive presentation on the Academy's curriculum. We also invited a very special guest to come and talk with the students and their parents. Jimmy Iovine came and talked for over an hour to this group, and he didn't talk about his time as chairman and CEO of Universal Music's largest record label. He did not talk about his founding of Beats Electronics with Dr. Dre. He talked about his passion and vision for a program that he hoped would offer a path to a new style of entrepreneurship that was intertwined with technology, the arts, and popular culture. We pretty much, as you can imagine, had every student in the room after that, but we weren't done yet. So at lunch the second day, we invited one of the Roski School's secret weapons, Andrew Byram. Andrew is professor of design in the Roski School, and he is hands down one of the most creative, fascinating, and effective teachers I've ever seen. He gave a talk on two-dimensional and three-dimensional design that literally had the whole room in the palm of his hand. And he not only captured the imagination of the students, he was able to show their parents the quality of the instruction and mentorship that their students would receive at USC. And that was huge. So following our interview weekend, we finalized our list of admits. We worked very, very closely, obviously, with Catherine Harrington, Tim Brunold, Kirk Brennan, and their team to create and package offers that we knew would have to compete with top institutions that were also vying for these students. We worked extremely hard to build not just a class, but a cohort of students with diverse backgrounds and abilities that would eventually mesh together into a unique and powerful whole. We gave them offers they couldn't refuse, and we delivered those offers in the coolest way we could possibly think of.
Hey, Joseph, we've got some great news for you.
Congratulations, you've been accepted to the USC, Iovine, and Young Academy.
The Trojan family is excited to offer you a spot in the class of 2018.
From Hollywood to Hollywood, welcome to USC.
I believe in using my assets. So we recorded 36 individual videos. Jimmy and Dre were incredibly gracious. As you heard at the beginning of the video, they actually named the student by name, Joseph. More than that, every video had some personal content in it about who that student actually was. You heard Jimmy say from Hollywood to Hollywood. Joseph comes from Hollywood, Florida, and he's now, of course, in Los Angeles. So whether they came or not, they had keepsakes, I think, that they were going to hang on to for the rest of their lives. These videos also didn't hurt recruitment. They went viral. You'll see the story here from the Los Angeles Times, but they were emailed and Facebooked all over the world. Just a few little stats. I won't keep you very long with these, but we're incredibly proud of our first class. Their stats are phenomenal. It's an incredibly diverse class as well, which we're particularly proud of. I'll just pitch. We yielded at 86%, which I think is the highest yield at USC last year. So I just want to thank my team for that. We are now in our recruitment phase for the Academy's second class. It's going incredibly well. We obviously face one significant hurdle, and that is to come up with an idea that can possibly top those Jimmy and Dre videos. So if you got anything, let me know. Thank you.